This image can crash your brain. This is Langford's basilisk, sometimes called the parrot due to a coincidental resemblance. And don't panic, everything I'm showing here is a safe reconstruction. Plus, I'd be quite skeptical that any online video platform would even be capable of displaying the original in full lethal form. If viewed in its native unreconstructed form, Poly here generates patterns that the human visual system simply can't deal with. This has been termed a Gödelian spoiler or shock input, which can produce a chemical effect in the brain which is theoretically lethal. In other words, it can crash the human brain. Probably not instantly, but triggered several days later when the subject views a repetitive pattern that's even slightly reminiscent of the original. Very little is known about how or why this image, this basilisk, was created. What we do know is that it was created, possibly by accident, at the Cambridge 4 supercomputer facility at some point in 1983, through a kind of very early form of AI image generation known as the Berryman logical image technique. The people involved, identified only as V. Berryman and C.M. Turner, seemingly disappeared following the incident. At least any evidence of their work, their careers, any mention or reporting on them as individuals completely ceased. The original basilisk image itself and the details of how it actually works have never been released to the public. Probably because it's entirely fictional and from a 1988 science fiction short story by the writer David Langford. But you know what? I think it's really cool, if slightly terrifying. Pretty sure the human brain doesn't work like that, like a computer that can be hacked with malicious code. Although in some ways, maybe that's not so far-fetched. Follow for more.